One. It is time to fly around Chicago. I shot a video a few days ago and it really turned out bad, so I thought I would try it again tonight and see if I could get it right. I've been playing around with the settings in OBS and it looks like it's a lot better than it was. So let's take a look and see what's going on and see if I can give a little better tour. Now, since I've been sitting here on the runway, you can see there's a pretty large plane in front of me. It looks like a 787 maybe because of the scalloped ends of the engines there that I can see all the way through. So that's kind of bizarro. I don't know what's going to happen if I try to pass it. So maybe it's getting ready to take off and then we can just follow it out of here. If it doesn't go anywhere in just a minute, we'll whip around and try something else. I see the ailerons and control surfaces are moving around a little bit, but let's just drive around it. We're pretty small. Oh, good, it just disappeared. So let's go ahead and take off. It's got us going off to the west. We're going to turn it around as soon as we're airborne. We'll get it trimmed out, and we're going to fly towards the city, and then probably shoot over towards Midway for a landing, although that's subject to change. I don't really know what I want to do yet. So we'll just play around with it and see what's going on. So we'll trim it out just a touch. Looks like I'm climbing. I get a little positive rate of climb here. Alright, let's spin this dude around. Let's go on the outside view and take a look at O'Hare. It's quite an impressive airport. You know, I fly in and out of there from time to time. I haven't been anywhere in several months. But I used to fly every couple of weeks. I was going somewhere. And the takeoffs and landings just never get old for me. I love it. It's a lot of fun to fly. I miss it, and I imagine someday I'll get to go back, just not today. Let's pull the flaps back up. We don't need the flaps in there. And we're flying east. I'm kind of going over this way on purpose. It's a cool little town over here called Rosemont. I used to work in an office that we'll do a flyby of. Several years ago, we moved further out into the suburbs. Unfortunately, I loved working over by O'Hare. There are just so many great restaurants and places to go. Take a lunch break. You could eat at a different kind of food at a different restaurant every day and never repeat because of everything that's here. There's also a fantastic hot dog place here called Gene and Jude's. It is the best. There are no tables. You stand up, you order. Everybody's in there. You've got everything from the bluest of blue-collar worker to the most advanced office kind of jobs you could ask for, and everybody's just standing shoulder to shoulder in this place, enjoying a good lunch or even dinner. Love it. So you see some triangle buildings right in front of us here, just off to on the right side. That's where I worked. I used to work in that very first triangle building overlooking Interstate 90, which is what this is that we're flying over. And the L right there, it's the blue line that goes into O'Hare. It'll take you down into the city. It was a great way to get downtown if we had meetings there because, you know, this little strip of road, it's only, what, 15 miles maybe into the city, and it could take 90 minutes to get in there depending on traffic. So it was really nice to be able to take the blue line. We could walk right over to the train station, hop on, and then be downtown in like 40 minutes or something, 45 minutes. So you can see the skyline out there into the distance and nice little view of Lake Michigan. I think I'm just going to keep flying right down the Kennedy here, I-90, the Kennedy. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back in the plane and I'm going to adjust my propeller RPM. It's a little fast. Get it down to about 85. That should do it. Now let's go back outside for the better view. We can slow this thing down a little bit. Alright, I wonder how the streaming's looking. I can't wait to go back and check this out after I'm done. I do have the chat screen open on my tablet over here to my left. Now see these other train tracks up here somewhere. The Metro train merges or comes in close as well. And Wrigleyville, letting a little bit of Kentucky out of me there. Wrigleyville is off to the left a little bit. cruising down the Kennedy, I-90. Yeah, the weather, I don't know, I didn't go check the specific weather settings. I assume it chose today's weather. I just chose a much earlier time so that it was daylight. Here's where 94 and 90 merge. This can be a nightmare with traffic. You can see how wide it is. You've got some express lanes there in the middle. It looks like I'm flying over the express lanes. Not always express, I can tell you that. So I live out in the suburbs, the Chicago suburbs. So we're in the Chicago area, but we don't dare say we live in Chicago because, you know, it's kind of a sacred title for the people that do live within the confines of Chicago. I guess if I was far enough out of town or not, I guess I tell people I live near Chicago or in the Chicago area. I don't know how many times in the past I've said, oh, I live in Chicago, and the server says, oh, where? And I say it, and he or she says, no, that's not Chicago, man. I like it here. I've been living here for a while now. It's good stuff. It's a good big city to live in or near. I recommend it. And at night, all the lights out here are just amazing. So coming into O'Hare, you can see it way off in the distance as you're coming in. If you've never been here, I recommend it. You know, let's get through this pandemic first so things are open again. I don't recommend it in the winter unless you like being cold. I do recommend this time of year though, so September, October, it's absolutely beautiful. Doesn't get much better. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up here. We're going to fly straight down the river. We'll fly past some pretty familiar buildings for those of you that have been here before or you've watched movies. You know, you got the big round ones, the Marina Towers. You can see the Sears Tower on the right. Over on the left, the tallest building far left is the Hancock Building. I suppose the one in the middle is probably Trump Tower. I'm pretty sure it is, actually. We have an office downtown, and it's pretty close to there. It's just across, I don't know, it's like a block away. It's a really nice looking building. Doesn't matter if you're a fan of Trump or not. It's a good looking building. So just cruising through. Just going to slow down a little bit. Let's put in some flaps. Bring back the RPM. Power some. Try not to climb too high. We just definitely want to slow it down though. I love this little plane because it is pretty slow, easy to maneuver, and it's pretty compact. You know, I like the TBM 930. That's my favorite single engine plane. I love to fly that one if I'm going on a longer trip, but it's so fast. It's 300 and something knots when it's really cooking along. So flying through the middle of Chicago at 300 knots is not necessarily what you want to be doing. I don't know if you want to see anything. So let's raise that up. I'm still falling like a rock. All the bridges. Merchandise Mart on the left. That is a really cool place to walk around inside. It's, you know, if you've got $20,000 to spend on bath fixtures, that's where you go. IBM building, which is now I don't know what it's, a hotel, I guess. Man, we're really going fast. I should have slowed it down some more. Let's do another loop. We're going to turn left and just take a nice slow flight down Lakeshore Drive. There's Navy Pier right in front. Let's go down here and loop around and come back through. So there's the Hancock Building. In this game, the graphics are pretty impressive, aren't they? It's really amazing how much detail, the quality of the graphics. I've been playing Flight Simulator since the very first version ever, which I played on a Commodore 64, which was line graphics basically, and it was, what, a 1 second update between frames, and it was still the greatest thing going even back then. So to have something like this now, and even Flight Simulator X, it's amazing how far the technology's come. Let's take a look. Nice. Let's go fly over Soldier Field, where the Bears play. Shoot right over there. The bean right below. This is worthy of a turnaround here. I'm going to do a circle once I get out by Soldier Field. So the Field Museum we're going to pass. You've got the aquarium that's just going under the left wing. At the edge of the left wing is the planetarium, which is pretty awesome. And then Soldier Field. So let's do this. Let's get over here a little bit. There's Soldier Field. Pretty nice view. And there it is. Nice view of the city. Across all the parks and everything. It's a really nice view. Let's take it south for a couple minutes. Love driving through the city. I like flying through it even better. What I think I'm going to do today, I'm going to keep flying south. I'm going to get down to I-80. Keep my bearings straight here. Let's speed it back up again. There are some big holes, and huge, like cavernous looking things as you drive through there. It might be kind of cool to see what it looks like in the game. So there's U.S. Cellular Field, home of the White Sox. Let's just keep cruising this direction. We'll fly south. We'll fly past the Skyway Bridge. We'll fly past towards Gary, Indiana. I may turn before we get all the way to Gary. When traffic's right, so if you want to head, south or east, you have to either go through Chicago or around Chicago, living out in the suburbs. And when the traffic's smooth, you can get through Chicago, across the Skyway Bridge and into Indiana in no time. It's really nice. Otherwise, there are other freeways that are off to the east that'll take you around Chicago. It takes a little bit longer. Make sure I have my bearings straight here. Yeah. I'm going to follow the river. Or not the river, geez. The railroad and flying towards the lake. And if we follow this all the way down, we'll be at, what will it be, 80, 94, 65. I think that's it. 80, 94, 65 all kind of come together down here. So this is still a toll road. Let's bring down the altitude a little bit. I'm going to change our view. Let's look back towards Chicago. We're making good time. I'm going to go back in the plane for just a second here and check on a couple of things, look at the gauges. Really wanted to see that GPS map. I can hear my fan and my computer really kicking up. I bought this computer. I mean, the confession of the day here. I had an older i7 that was 4 years old, and when I found out this game was coming out, I upgraded to an i9, and I bought a good video card, so I bought the 2080 video card in anticipation of this. If that's supposed to be the Skyway, that looks like crap. That was not the Skyway bridge that you actually see. Let's see what happens here. I think I see the toll booth. Maybe it'll redeem itself in a minute. But was that the Skyway? The Skyway, the real Skyway, is a big steel structure that is, you know you're on a bridge. And it's up really high. You go up quite a hill getting onto it. Yeah, there's the toll booth. Not everything's perfect yet. You know, when you fly to DC, I have another video that is pretty mediocre quality. You go to Washington, DC and fly near the Washington Monument, it just looks like an office building. And, oh, maybe this is it. Maybe I was just too soon, because that looks like the right kind of toll booth right there. So maybe I was just a little early. Or maybe that's just a toll booth. Man, I don't know what's going on right now. Let's just fly it out and see. Because none of this is the Skyway, so we're past it now, I'm sure of that. Anyway, what was I saying? So, yeah, the Washington Monument, it looks like a four-sided glass, black glass office building. Although when you look at the ground, you can see where, probably it's Bing Maps, I suppose, where Bing Maps is drawing, and you can see the building as if it's laying down. And there are some other things, too. I flew down to Brazil. I didn't fly to Brazil. I took off from a small airport in Macapá, Brazil, and took a flight around because there's this really cool landmark for the equator, and in the game it just looks like a building. So that video's out there too. It's just lousy quality because I was still trying to dial in OBS. So where the heck am I now? So this looks a little too much forest in this area to match the reality of it. Let's go back and look at the GPS map. I'm pushing the wrong button. I'm trimming it out. So, oops. Zoom out a little bit on the GPS. Yeah, we're clipping right along here. I'm going to bring it back up, though, before I hit these trees. There's the Gary Airport. This is starting to look more like Gary because there's all kinds of industrial stuff here, all the oil tanks. I could have flown right in there and landed, couldn't I? It's a nice looking airport. This must be I-80. Let's go see. Is that I-80? I don't know about that. No. Trains everywhere. I don't know anything about trains. I think they're cool. And I know there are a lot of them around this area of the country. A friend of mine is a engineer, not a train engineer, but an engineer. And he's been working with some of the rail lines. It sounds pretty interesting. I haven't spoken with him in a little while, but it sounds pretty cool. A lot of work goes into that. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? Alright, this has got to be I-80. Right down here. So we're going to fly east. I'm sorry, west. We're going to follow I-80 and see where it takes us. Some water out in front on the left. I'm wondering if those are the big pits that are dug out there and this thing's interpreting it as a lake. Oh yeah, that's 80 because look at all the lanes. It's a big old road. This is pretty good. I-80 is a pretty good sized freeway. And I think the pits are coming up there on the left and right. I'll bet that's what that is. And we're trimmed out really nice. Clipping along 126 knots. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that these are the big, I don't know if they're retention ponds or pits or what. If you drive by there on a normal day, they certainly are not full of water to the top. In fact, when you go over it on I-80, you can't see down in there far enough to see anything. I had to adjust my altimeter because it said I was at negative altitude. So you hit the B key for the barometer. Yeah, when you drive past this, you can see over the edge a little bit of the freeway, but it's not a lake. So unless I'm just wrong about where I am, I don't think I am. You can see the shadow of the plane down there running on the road and how fast we're going compared to the traffic. That's cool. So I believe we are getting to the split here. Yeah, where it goes to the right is 294. If you continue straight, you can go to Iowa on I-80. I'm going to take this right and head up 294. So once I get around the curve, I'm going to tune in midway and then go land at midway. Without any air traffic control, we're just going to fly in there and do whatever the heck we want. When I make this turn, this is the way I would come home if I was coming from the east. When 80 and 294 kind of split off like that, I really start to feel like I'm getting close to home. It's kind of a big deal. All right, let's see here. Oh man, I can never remember how to use this GPS. Oh my gosh. Thing. I know how to do this in the TBM 930, but I cannot use this GPS. I really need to practice. Oh well, we're just going to fly to midway. It's kind of in front of us, so let's just cruise over there and find it. We'll find it. I'll peek back in at the map every once in a while so I can keep an eye on it, so I don't make another fool of myself here trying to operate this GPS. So it's off to the front left a little bit, a few degrees. All right. So we're not over the freeway anymore. 294 is back behind me somewhere now. You can see the lake over there on the right. See airplanes coming into midway. Start slowing it down in a minute. We're pretty low. What's our altitude? A couple thousand feet. When I get to that inner ring, which I think is 5 miles if I remember right from other things. We're 7 miles away, so I'm guessing that's the 5 mile ring, that purple ring that you see in front of my plane there. We'll start bringing it down. Let's see if we can find that other plane. I wonder where it is. Oh, it's over there on the left. It's just under the compass. All right, cool. So we're not going to run into that. You can see the city off to the front right a little bit. We're starting to descend slowly. And we're really going fast. This is awesome. Let's put in some flaps and start slowing down. We're 5 miles out. I'm going to switch back and forth a couple of times. I think I see the airport dead ahead. It's kind of brown over there. But we'll just keep an eye on it. Dang it. I'm definitely going to study this GPS because I like flying this plane. I should know how to use the stinking GPS, shouldn't I? Alright, we're less than 5 miles, 4.8. We're going up. Let's bring it down. We'll just go up here and pick a runway. Used to be Meigs Field downtown, right near Soldier Field. That was a really cool airport. It was a real bummer when the past mayor, Mayor Daley, went in there at night and dug it up. He didn't dig it up himself, but you know what I'm saying. He ordered it dug up. It's really unfortunate because it was pretty awesome. Comes another jet behind us off to the right. We're coming in right at midway. I think I see the runway that I'm going to go after. So now I'm going to bring it down, throw in some more flaps and slow it down. Trim it so I'm heading down still. There's another airplane. There it is. You can see it just above, well, quite a far way above, up near the horizon. Alright, let's get this behind us. I see that runway that's just over the left wingtip. That's where we're headed. Put in the rest of the flaps. Bring back the throttle. We're flying nice and slow. So we're sitting at just over a half hour. I think I'll land it here. And then we'll call it quits. Just a nice 30-minute jaunt around Chicago. That'd be a heck of a long drive. It's a lot of fun doing it in Flight Sim. I'm going to go back in the plane and land it from inside. I feel like I'm cheating if I do it from outside. About 80 knots, slowing down, 70-ish. The controls are getting real sloppy because I'm going so slow. Alright, bringing it in. Back in the Commodore 64 days, I had to do all this on the keyboard. I was mean on the keyboard. Oh, this is nice. I'm floating it right in there. Excellent. All right, a little off center line, but any landing where you don't crash is a good landing, right? Let's see if I can slow it down. Pull off. Get off the runway so I don't get hit. And park it. We're just going to park it right here. Alright, that was fun. I'm going to call it a night. Let's go look at the logbook. See how long that was. Then I'll shut it down. There it goes. Man, this thing is a beast. It is a slow loading game. I think it was like 2 minutes and something to load on the C64 on one, what was it, 180K floppy disk maybe? Then there were some, it took a couple minutes to load though. It does on this one too. Let's go to my profile, look at the logbook real quick. So 32 minutes and 50 seconds, one landing. Cool. A lot of fun. All right, thanks for watching, and I hope everything is going well.